Hello, it's Denise, running away from home. Today is the 25th day of July 2022. It's my great-granddaughter's 9th birthday. Happy birthday, Bella! I saw her most of the day Saturday, or for a few hours. Spent the day with her, learned about her new best friend, her best friend at school, how she likes school, why she doesn't like to brush her hair. Her hair is down to beyond the middle of her back, and it's always a rat's nest when I see it. And I ask her about it, and she says, no, I don't like my hair brushed. Well, girl, as you grow up, you're going to discover a lot of things about being a girl that you're not going to like. Best start making peace with that right now. Being a woman is a wonderful thing. It's wonderful to be in touch with your emotions and have intelligence, and in these days, in the days when you are growing up, to be able to honestly say that you can be anything you want in America except the President of the United States. But you're second to that now, women. Anyway, today is Monday. It's been a interesting day in a non-interesting way, can I say. And I wanted to talk about what this channel is about. You know, I've only got 3 subscribers, and I think one of them might be me by accident, but I can't figure it out. But there are 3 subscribers, and I can only see 2 of them. Anyway, and that's all right with me. I am not here to amass a following. When I first got on Twitter, I kept getting followed by all these marketing people. Like, I guess they could tell I was not a bot. It's always a plus on Twitter, because you can't always tell, kids. And occasionally I had witty things to say. And I am always vulnerable. I'll expose the worst parts of myself for your entertainment. Actually, to get it out there where I could see it in front of me so that I could figure out, I don't like this. I need to change this. But I say it a lot, and it's the truth. The obvious always becomes clear to me eventually. Think about that for a minute. I don't get the obvious right away. I wonder if it's because I'm always overthinking. That probably is it. When you take things, life at face value, it appears in some ways that it makes you a much happier individual. I'll have to think about that. I think people who are able to just, as I've said before, throw up their hands and say, plot twist, and move on with their story, they're the best. Because what's true in nature and in humanity is that variety and adaptability is what ensures a species' survival. I can't believe I just said that. That sounded smart. Almost like I'd been to community college. So when I first got on and I was getting noticed, and the term influencer was starting to come around in the bios of the people who were following me, I got, because I'm never really comfortable in the limelight. Like, I want to be noticed, but I'm just not comfortable with it. Because I just feel too human and flawed and awkward. I do feel awkward. I don't know if that's because I only had brothers and no sisters, and my mother and I had a terrible relationship for way too long. So I don't really relate to women, other women, as well as I could. But I'm working on that. I'm working on that. But if you're male, I can practically read your mind. Don't ever doubt it. Don't doubt it. I have enough experience with the male gender that I could fill up textbooks. You wouldn't think it looking at me, would you? But I wasn't always like this. And let's be honest, if you're not if you're not a slut, you know, if you don't mind being called a slut, you can know all kinds of men at their most vulnerable. Interestingly enough, thing that has always been true for me is that men use love to get sex and women use sex to get love. I don't know. What do I know? I'm 64 and I've only got 3 subscribers. And the purpose of this channel is I am a die-hard genealogist. And once again, I just terminated the subscription to Ancestry that I had for 1 month, the full international version with the publisher's edition of newspapers.com and Fold 3 for the military. That 1 month was $60. And I canceled it before it could renew again. So, as always happens, when I do that, I get an email or 2 asking genealogy questions, always. And I have, listen, 4 pages of family trees, and they're not all my family. I'm that genealogist who will research anybody for any reason at any time. I just love the hunt. I love finding out the story. And on my website, I did have what's it called? It's a website for writing. Anyway, it was a blog about my searches and my findings and my puzzle solving, which that's the big part of it. Solving those puzzles. Why? When? How? And I got an email from a gentleman last night. Might have been last night. Because I didn't look at it till I was on the computer. Because reading it on the cell phone is just not the same. I don't know how you kids do it. And I don't like to use my iPad for much of anything these days except stream and stuff that I can't watch on the big TV. My life is slowing down. And this channel is for those who wanted to know me. Hi! You may stumble across my name here and there on the internet. I've been around a long, long time. I truly have been around a long, long time. I was Nappy on AOL. Arethusa, then only Arethusa. Now I'm running away from home. That's what I like about the internet. You can change your name. I never liked the name Denise. Denise Ann Lemon. I never liked it. But it was kind of cool in a way because there weren't a lot of Denises that I knew back when I was a child. Denise was not a popular name, but then again, I did not live in large cities. My parents moved from, you know, Pontiac to Davisburg to Greenville. Before that, we moved from Traverse City to California, Santa Ana. We were the only lemons on Fruit Street. That's what the joke my dad used to make. I have lived in a lot of places. Lost the reason why I was saying that. Anyway, that's why, because you may run across my name, because once computers became a thing, I'm an idiot savant in the least savant way. I lean more towards idiot. I don't know how I do the things I do. Consequently, I don't understand the consequences of those things. And they can be huge. They really can. So, you may find my name and want to know, who was she? Maybe one of you will inherit, or even one of your spouses, because I'm the spouse of Bruce Knapp, ex-spouse, and I did his entire family tree on both his mother's adopted side, which I deleted. Don't like deleting trees, but at one time too many, someone from her adopted side of the family emailed me and said, "You realize she's adopted, right? And she's not really what you say she is." Yes, I understand that. So then I went on the quest to find her birth family. After she had died, she was able to meet her full siblings, because her mother and father were not married when they conceived Phyllis. And it was interesting. Anyway, it's an interesting story, and I'm so glad I was able to get to the bottom of it and discover all that. And maybe one of you or one of your spouses will have that same instinct. And that's what keeps the story of us alive. You can come at it from your own surname. You can come at it from my surname. You can come at it from Bruce's mother's birth surname. Oh, I started to tell you that Phyllis was able to meet her birth siblings in person in the 80s because her parents weren't married when they conceived Phyllis, but they married after Phyllis was adopted out of the family. And they had 3 more children, 2 more girls and a boy, who have now, I believe, all since passed on. They're all together. And that was a momentous occasion that, if you look in the Grand Rapids Press, I think it's called the Press, I don't think it's in business anymore, but there will be archives somewhere. You can read the story about how Phyllis's family found her, because they're the ones that found her. They came up here to Howard City from Grand Rapids, where they all had lived. They all lived, and because they were from here and then moved, they still had relatives here. The tale of the 2 Knapp families. It was really interesting. It was really interesting. And somebody might do that. Here I am, talking for 13 minutes about absolutely nothing. But it's about everything, really. It's also a place for me to just air opinions on what I hear or see. I had this thing cross my mind last month that was, there are no others. There are no others. There is only us, all interconnected in ways we don't understand and never will be able to understand as we live, but are huge, huge, and have consequences and repercussions on all of us in the world. And Napper's saying that, you know, he doesn't like how the United States is open to the world. Dude, here's what happens. Take a look at what happens like January 6th of 2021 when the country becomes inbred. And all of a sudden they start believing that white is the only color Americans should be, and they should not have, there are groups of people with whose lifestyles we disagree with, that we don't want them to have the same rights and privileges that we do. You become inbred. And this thing about putting Christ in politics, putting Christianity in politics, is the sure way to destroy both of them. Politics and Christianity. Because they don't mix for a reason. They do not mix for a reason. In your secular life, you vote your conscience, and that should be enough. But I'm telling you, some of you Christians do not understand Christ. You do not. You just do not. Keep them people out of our country. That's not what Jesus said. You welcome the foreigner. You make sure they're taken care of. You get up off your lazy ass and you work for yourself just like I did. You got all the things that I hadn't. No. You lived here for so long, so isolated, only surrounded by people who are the same as you in much the same ways, and the people who are outside of you, the people who do not subscribe and live their lives according to the values and morals and ethics that you set for yourself, which are conditional or situational, I must say. I remember getting so mad at one of my boyfriends down in Alabama. The rules are for everyone, or there are no rules. You cannot make rules and then not follow them yourself. No, that don't work. You're not going to follow your rule, I'm not going to follow your rule. There we go. The rules are for everyone, or there are no rules. There's no truer statement than that. The rules are for everyone. You follow them or not, that's your choice. Free will. But you're going to have consequences. You're going to have to accept. Oh, that gets me started on people who don't take accountability. I understand. I did it most of my life. It's not my fault. Not my fault. They did it to me. No, it's on them. No. I don't control a single person outside of me. And I barely have control of me most of the time. So, accepting accountability and wanting the country to stay inbred, and that's just been an issue for me lately. Going upstairs and catching out of the side of my eye, out of the corner of my ear, him watching the programs that reinforce his narrow-minded, bigoted, misogynistic, that's a way to say it. If you're watching this in the future and you didn't understand what that word was, because I said it two ways and one of them was right, is Google still around? That's how I learn most of my words, is reading. Anyway. So this channel is just going to be this. Just me getting everything out there, giving whatever descendants come behind me the chance to get to know me. You know, a person is not just one thing. They're not just one way. They are many shades of nuance and many colors of gray. We are not black and white. But that helps us adapt. Being able to adapt is the key to survival. There's just something else I wanted to say. A lot of free-floating anxiety, I believe, can be taken care of by one, making sure and understanding that you're a capable person. A person who is capable of doing hard things, because you are And if you're not, you're just not doing them because you don't want to do them. But you're capable of doing hard things, which is what change is hard. It is hard to change, adapt into something different and new. But it's possible, and it's preferable, and it's highly, 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 I'm searching for the word, recommended that you see yourself and become a capable person. I learned how to use a power drill. I learned how to put together furniture. I learned how to move all by myself without anyone helping me. I learned how to live all by myself without anybody helping me, but was not able to sustain it for long because I am such a flake. Such a flake. Bless your hearts. I hope you inherit the best parts of me, not the bad. Could do with less social awkwardness and flakiness, but I don't know how to fix that. I think it just makes me me. I just have to keep watch on it, because that's just how life is. The end.